So please join me in welcoming Eleanor for tonight's talk.
Thank you. It was pretty cool and pretty crazy. I'm so happy to be here. As Tim said, I'm Eleanor. I'm the Chief Experience Officer at Casper. My role is to lead the development and design of our end-to-end customer experience across touchpoints. And that includes digital touchpoints like our website and our mobile apps and the software that powers our operations, that delivers our customer experience. And it also includes our physical experience in our retail stores and our wholesale environments. So in my role, I bridge online and offline. So I thought what I'd do is start with a little bit of background about Casper, for those of you who aren't familiar with Casper's story, and then we'll jump into the topic tonight, which is brand and how to build a brand that counts. For those of you who don't know Casper's a sleep company. We design products and experiences that help the world sleep better. And it started nearly 5 years ago with 5 founders who were passionate about sleep. That is Jeff, Neil, Gabe, Luke, and Philip, our CEO, on a balcony. And when they got together, they noticed at the time that everyone was obsessed with fitness and exercise, downing green juice, talking about spin class obsessively, and yet at the same time neglecting sleep, complaining about how they didn't get enough sleep. So they set out on a mission to recognize and establish sleep as one of the central pillars of wellness, alongside nutrition and exercise, and think about how they might create products and experiences that do that. They noticed that the experience of shopping for sleep products was in need of desperate reinvention. At the time, it was a very tired industry that was solely focused on mattresses. And as we know, if you've been into a mattress store 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you'll see a sea of options that overwhelm you with choice. You will see a lurking salesman who's really focused on making the sale. And you'll see an uncomfortable transactional environment that's pretty antagonistic, aggressive, unpleasant, and is entirely focused on selling, not sleep. So they started with reinventing the foundation of great sleep, which is a mattress. And you can see some early prototypes and photos of our founders making those prototypes and even loading them into an elevator to deliver to early customers. Thankfully, we now have delivery services to do that. And they redesigned the experience of shopping through bedroom setup. So all of a sudden, people were able to shop for a mattress, buy it in a few clicks, and get it on their doorstep within a day, and bypass the whole retail store experience if they wanted to. From there, we expanded to products for the entire bedroom. So now we have not just mattresses, but bed frames, bedding, sheets, pillows, even a nightlight that dims and gradually lulls you to sleep called Glow. And we really started to think about the entire sleep ecosystem, all the things that you might need to elevate your bedtime routine, your sleep hours, and waking up in the morning. We also grew from being digital only to having a whole fleet of retail stores and over 12 retail partners across the globe in the last few years. So what that journey has looked like since 2014 is shifting from one universally comfortable mattress to having products for the entire bedroom, one e-commerce channel to being omni-channel with 30 stores and partnerships with Target and Nordstrom and Hudson's Bay, and moving from just being in one country to having availability around the world. So that's a bit of background about Casper. Today's talk is focused on brand and what makes a brand. I want to focus on 3 things: what makes a brand in Casper's case, and things that we can take away from brand at large; how to nurture creativity to build a brand, one of the most important ingredients, I'd argue, for building a brand; and then why brand matters. So why does brand make a difference when it comes to solving big business problems, and what role does it play? I'll start with what makes a brand. So one of the most notable things about Casper's success has been the Casper brand. We were fortunate to strike a really unique chord with people early on and have been able to maintain that connection every year since we've grown. And that ranged from, in 2014, being talked about as the company that's making mattress buying exciting, to all the way in 2019 today being known as the first end-to-end sleep company. One of the main reasons we've been able to do that is because we work really hard and passionately to nurture our brand. And we like to think we're trying to make sleep cool. We work to establish our brand values through every touch point that we put in front of a customer, whether it's our products, our packaging, which you can see on the bike there, our retail stores, our website, even on the upper left, a napmobile, which roamed around the country offering free naps for all. And we've created a following that we're really proud of from that. And people rave about Casper that have bought our products. I'm just going to read a couple quotes so you can kind of feel what we feel when we read these. Not being paid to say this, but I promise your life will improve dramatically if you get a Casper mattress. They've given me reason to live. It's been a whole year and I still want to marry my Casper mattress every time I lay down on it. If we thought 5 years ago that people would be tweeting love letters to their mattresses or tweeting love letters to a brand that sold mattresses and sleep products, we would have thought that was crazy. And yet here we are. So the question is, what makes a brand? If that's a brand success, what makes up that brand? And in our case, I think importantly, like many brands, we don't think about our brand as just marketing. We think about it as our values, our brand values that we communicate through our offer. And in our case, our offer is product and experience, meaning we offer uniquely wonderful sleep products that are like sleeping on a cloud, and a uniquely wonderful experience in how we deliver them that disrupts the way we shop for sleep. And those two ingredients have been super critical to our success and remain to be critical to our success looking forward. So your marketing, which people talk a lot about with Casper, our marketing may be our megaphone, but our message is definitely our mission and our values, and we try to express that through everything that we do. For us, these are some of our values. So innovative, wondrous, joyful, authentically human, democratic, and our favorite, zing, which describes our unique brand of humor. These are hopefully recognizable and palpable in everything that Casper does because we see them as part of our personality. And a great tip I received when I was at IDEO actually was that brands are a lot like people. Great brands are like people that you want to be around and have values that attract you. Terrible brands are like people that you don't want to be around and repel you. And what's interesting, I think, is when we zoom out and we look at the tech and startup landscape today and what's happening with brand there, which Casper is a part of, what's happening is interesting. In that I would say most tech brands today aren't amazing, but they're also not terrible. Most are just dilute. They are pleasing, palatable, functional, but they're not necessarily memorable. And this has been a growing theme in the news over the last year. So you may have heard of the term blanding, referring to how many new direct-to-consumer and tech brands are starting to look the same, that they're playing from the same playbook. And I'm going to read a quote from the article. The worst branding trend of 2018 is the one you probably never noticed. I call it blanding. The main offenders are in tech, where a new army of clones wears a uniform of brand camouflage. The formula is sort of a brand paint by numbers. Start with a made-up word name, put it in a sans serif typeface, make it clean and readable with just the right amount of white space. Use a direct tone of voice. Nope, no need for a logo. Maybe throw in some cheerful illustrations. Just don't forget the vibrant colors. Bonus points for purple and turquoise. Blands are like teenagers. They dress the same, talk the same, act the same. They don't have a defined sense of self, or if they do, they lack the confidence to be it. It's a school of fish mentality where the comfort and safety of the familiar outweigh the risk of attracting too much attention. I was in Fast Company, end of last year. In a similar vein, this was a graphic shared over social media a few months ago, demonstrating how even some of the most illustrious brands, fashion houses, are starting to look blandly similar as they move into the digital world. So the key question, how do you build a brand that counts, that stands out, that isn't dilute, that stands for something? By doing a lot of things is the honest answer. But most of all, I'd say by balancing these two things, two super important things. User-centered, data-driven design, which I believe we all know and love, and creative inspiration, but especially creative inspiration. Both are important, as I've said, but I've observed, especially I think in the digital and tech community, that with our increasing access to data, and our increasingly tight timelines that we literally now call sprints, we are neglecting creative inspiration. As I was writing this talk, this article was written. And to this question, I would answer, yes, I think that we're starting to. So why? Why do I think this is? I was brought up in the world of product development and user-centered design. I was brought up to believe that every problem should start with the problem, and framing that problem was the most important part of the process. So what problem are you trying to solve?